Okie the dokie, Artie the jokey. Ding 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 ding. Why'd everything go black?
I was alone, exhausted. And
Are we really doing that? Are we really doing this?
Did I ever really have a choice? On a path that seemed to have no direction. The hands of the holographic clock were about to complete.
Let me make it clear, I'm laughing, but I fucking love it. That is such a cliche fucking thing. With the walking and the neon signs in the background going along. I don't think I've ever played a game where I actually got to play that. That was awesome. And here we have there's this.
You really can't find peace, Capnos. You are persistent, I have to admit. And yet I can't really understand you. You fought with all your strength against every single order, and all of that to go back to being a property of SecureTech? See, Capnos, to approve those transactions in these circumstances would represent a failure of the system that is my duty to defend. Sure, you could kill me at any time, come here and validate the transactions yourself. The auction would be cancelled, the state would suffer a loss, but you would get back to your life. Now, the question is that really what you want? As I already told you, none of this is about you. And that's why I'd like to provide an option.
No,
if you refrain from killing me and allow me to prevent this fraud against the state, I'll pass your file to the Defense Department. During the reactivation of your identity, Mind Bullards will be inactive for a few hours. They will hunt you, Mr. Capnos, but you'll have the chance to escape the city. I'm offering you the closest thing to freedom.
The most important choice of my life was one click away from me.
Kill the official receiver, take your revenge, and get back to your everyday life at SecureTech. Shoot the floor, take your chance to escape the city and start a new life as a fugitive. Well, you know what? I don't like this place, so fuck it.
Mr. Evan Capnos, Identity Implant KPN 4722. For assessment reasons, your ID will be temporarily restored and reported to the Defense Department. While implementing the change, all restrictive measures will be inactive. Until the transition is complete, you are required to not leave the city, or you will be considered non-compliant. Have a nice day, Mr. Capnos.
Well, I feel kind of bad about starting this as a new episode. I know that the PS4's got some minor like video editing software in it. I've used it to like trim down. Like I've got a clip of me finishing a really hard boss fight in Neo 2 that took me like 6 hours to do, and I'm gonna upload that. And I was able to, even though like it saved like the 60-minute, like when I beat the boss and I hit the button, it saved the last 60 minutes. I was able to trim it down to just the round where I beat him. maybe I could see if it's got a way of combining two video things, or I could upload the two files to wonder if it's possible to see the other ending.
This is it, Capnos. All you have to do is to make sure the official receiver will validate the transactions. It's not long till the auction.
At least give
but
it
as soon as it's canceled,
a reason
I promise you will get your life back. Be sure, Capnos. I can't lose my research.
To like give a reason for this video to exist if I can't tack it on to the other one. And we get to see the this sequence
I was alone, exhausted, and I was taking my last steps without even knowing if I wanted to. Did I ever really have a choice? On a path that seemed to have no direction, the hands of the holographic clock
vacancy.
were about to complete their
Gotta have that.
And so was
Gotta
I.
have the no vacancy. Now I'm convinced this has to be like
Mr. Capnos.
part of like based on something like a comic or something, because it's got that
You really can't find peace, Capnos. You are persistent, I have to admit. And yet I can't really
it's got that feeling of
understand.
like a lot of world building, like behind the scenes, like
You fought
where
with
it
all
feels
your
like the world's a
strength
lot
against
bigger, which
every
to be
single
fair
orc.
is
And
a
all
sign
that
of good world
to go
building
back to being a
when
property
you
of
feel like
security.
you're existing in a world that like, because you don't need like
Capnos,
800
to
little
approve
like
those
audio logs
transactions
dumped
in
into
these
your fucking
circumstances
inventory,
would represent
giving
a
you every
failure
single
of the
little bit of
system that is
backstory
my
you could
duty to
possibly
defend.
have.
Sure, you could kill me at any time. Come here and validate the transactions yourself. The auction would be cancelled. The state would
But
suffer a
maybe
loss,
this might be
you
why
would get back to life.
I saw that the game has
Now,
mixed
the question
reviews
is,
when I was looking up
is
the
that really
price.
what you want?
Is maybe the length. Like
As
the
I
the
already
gunplay
told
was
you,
nothing really. It was
this is
satisfying. I
about
found it
you,
satisfying,
and that's why
but it was
I'd
nothing
like
like
to
super
provide an
special.
option. If you refrain from killing
But it was
allow
just
me to
set
prevent this
dressing
fraud
for
against
like
the
the
state, I'll pass your file to the
atmosphere
Defense
and
Department.
the presentation and
During
stuff,
the
which was what
reactivation of
the
your identity, mine bullards will be inactive for a few hours. They will hunt you, Mr. Capnos, but you'll have the chance to escape the city. I'm offering you the closest thing to freedom.
The most important choice of my life was one click away from me.
Why do I have my powers on when you don't have no shields or anything? Wait, that was it? That ending was shit compared to the other one. You don't like okay, I guess I can fill some of this time giving some thoughts. Like, what we got in chapters? Yeah. I feel like this is definitely either this is like a, like I said, part of like a bigger world based on some like a comic or something, or they planned a sequel or something, because there's a lot of loose ends, like the guy that says that I owe him one and that never comes back around. The Dahlia woman, you don't really like, there's a lot of unanswered questions, and I don't think that every story has to have you know, all of its questions answered. I think you can like leave like loose ends and like I think it contributes to this feeling of being part of like a world that's bigger than you. Like I feel like far too much video games, you know, you don't notice because it's what you want and it's what makes it most enjoyable, but it feels almost like the entire world exists just for you to be playing a game in it. Um, like, I don't want to sit here and try to give examples, but just the way games are built, like all the storylines kind of like either revolve around you or you know all the threads end up coming back to you, and even in games that like try to make you feel like you're part of like a big world, you end up being kind of the center of attention. And so a game that just feels like you're just one guy just trying to fucking obviously not a lot is explained about like what the world even is, like why everyone like I get that um uh my like the whole identity thing, whatever the fuck happened to me, is why I think had to do with everyone's face being all weird, which conveniently means they don't have to muddle face and stuff. Uh, but like it, like I'm of two minds where I feel like there's like I want to understand a little bit more about this world and what all this identity shit even means, because I don't think it ever really explained. Maybe I missed something, but I don't think it ever really explained what identity debt even was. Like I lose who I am, but like so what? Like what do you do with that? Like in our world, identity theft actually has a purpose, but like it was pretty clear that I'm not like, you know, rich or anything, so taking my identity, I don't I can't fathom what the point of that is, like what that accomplishes. And I get that they were doing experiments on me. I get that I was working, I think working for Securitech, and they was doing experiments on me, and uh, then they went into debt or something. They like I guess like they owned their employees, and then when they went and Securitech went into bankruptcy, and their uh all their assets were getting sold off. Technically, I'm an asset, so I'm getting sold off too, and I guess like and then Dahlia, her horse in the race was that her research or whatever, which I was a part of, was getting sold off, so that's why she wanted that done. And like I said, I'm not bothered by the way it ends. At least that first ending. The second one was way too abrupt for it to be at all satisfying. Which maybe that's not meant to be the canon ending or something. I don't know. But it does leave me wanting to understand a little bit more about this world. Like hopefully it would be something where like the devs could like make other games set in this universe that where you where you get stories from different angles and find out different things about different doodle doppel doop 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 doopas. I generally enjoy the game. Like for a little fucking $15 game, you know, it's hard to, like I said, like I don't like to think about games in terms of price, but at the same time, you kind of have to, because price points set expectations, and there's a lot of games like when, like, you know, look at No Man's Sky when that came out, ignoring, you know, what they did since, where they, you know, fixed it and made it all good and everything. If that game had come out as like a little, $10-15 indie early access game, no one would have had any problem with the state that it was in. There's games that come out at that price point, early access, with far less in it, and people defend it. Then at the same time, there's games like fucking Hollow Knight at the same price point that you look at how much fucking content you get there. So it's hard to quantify based on price, but I didn't consider this like I'm not like it's hard like I tend to fall into this trap of binarily saying whether a game was good or bad, and it's a lot more complicated than that. If I had spent, like, I got the game for free through terminals, but if I had spent the amount of money that it cost on it, I would have been satisfied with my purchase. Like, I had a fun time. I got like 5 or so hours out of it, however many episodes this is. And it's very rare to find a game that does this kind of comic book arc style, and even rarer to find one that actually kind of does it right. Like, a lot of games tend to think you just have panels and boom, you've got your art style, but it's a lot more complicated than that. And I think this game kind of accomplished it. It failed in a lot of areas, like I mentioned how like when you exited one panel, that screen would freeze, and maybe that was a technical limitation, but it kind of looked weird. And there was so many little sections where like the camera angle would be different, and I'd enjoy that. I guess what it comes down to is if I had to rate the game, I'd maybe rate it kind of middle ground, low end, like not great, but like the whole presentation and like the whole package, I really liked it. I liked what they did with I had fun. I enjoyed myself, and I liked my little gun. Even though, I hesitate to say most of the powers were useless, because I didn't even bother using most of them. But, like, so many of them, I couldn't really, like, just from the description at least, I couldn't, like, one said slam an enemy into the ground. That clearly would have used up some of my heat, and even if it killed him in one hit, I don't see how that's any different than popping off a few headshots. The enemy AI was not great in that they would sometimes advance towards you, but other than that, they would just stand there while you popped off shots. That's why I was able to, even with my drifting issue and just generally not being very good at games, and the fact that I'm playing on a console, I was able to be popping off headshots left and right. So the AI wasn't, phenomenal. They never, like, took cover, or it would have ran counter to the story, since, like, this was all, like, me being experimented on, but it would have been nice if, like, there had been more types of enemies. There was literally 3 types of enemies: regular, helmeted, and shielded. And that was it. And at the end, there was those, in that weird dreamy sequence, there was those ones that, like, were made out of metal and took a bunch of shots, but yeah, I liked it. Had fun. That'll do it. I was gonna do like one episode each of each game that I've got downloaded from terminals, so that I could have those uploaded, and then I was gonna from there decide whether to do like full Let's Plays of any of them. But then I picked this one first, and I just got kind of caught up in it and was enjoying myself. The other ones I got is Frozen something. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of that game, but it's made by the people that made This War of Mine, and I actually bought it on Steam. But I didn't get around to playing it before my PC died. So it was cool to get approved for the PC version, or for the PS4 version of it. And then something called Anna's Quest, like a point and click adventure, and then what the fuck was the fourth? Oh yeah, that Monster Harvest game, that game that's like a cross between Stardew Valley and Pokemon. I've heard that I've heard it's got like mixed reviews because a lot of people said when it came out it felt kind of incomplete, but from what I've seen, the devs have been updating and adding stuff to it and fixing stuff. So that's why I've been kind of leaving, even though I was really excited to get that one. I've been kind of leaving that alone until it gets patched up to a point where it's like a full game. Anyway, I gotta go to the bathroom. Fuck, I've just been sitting here. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.